Are you generating leads in your business? Yes or no? If the answer is no, I want you to start tracking your conversations, right? And if you're not having conversations, it's time to start having conversations, because your content alone is not going to create leads. You have to have a conversation. Hello and welcome to Chaos to Clarity, the podcast that's your compass to navigate the exciting world of service-based businesses. If you're a determined woman in your current business adventure, striving to conquer the chaos and build your empire, then you are in the right place. I'm your host, Maggie, your go-to business bestie and chaos navigator. I've spent nearly 2 decades in the service-based industry, building a photography business, a yoga studio, and now a thriving coaching practice. I've cracked the code to consistent income without all the chaos and noise. So get ready to increase your business growth, connect with your ideal clients, and find ease in both business and in life. It's time to turn your frustrations into inspiration and your chaos into clarity. So go ahead and grab your coffee, a pen and paper, and let's dive into the journey of building your dream service-based business together. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello and welcome back to the Chaos to Clarity podcast. My name is Maggie. I'm your host and the creator of the Chaos to Clarity coaching method. And I am so excited today to talk about generating leads in your business, which to some people might sound real boring. And me 5 years ago, I'd have been like, oh, LOL, this is boring, not listening. But now, today, 5 years later, this is something that gets me so excited, so amped up, just so, I don't have the word for it, but just gets me so excited to really just show up and provide some value for everyone who is listening, and just for everyone who is curious about really how to create leads and talk to your potential clients versus talking at them. And this is something that I see in the industry, is that people, so many people, they are stuck in marketing, right? They're stuck in creating the perfect piece of content. They're stuck in creating the perfect headline. They're stuck maybe even not posting for fear that, oh, no one's going to like this, or everyone's going to like this, or whatever thought is in between there. Okay. And while creating content is great and necessary, having conversations is also equally as necessary as creating, converting content. And I think that's something that people don't realize, because you can have amazing content, but you can have no leads, right? You can even be having conversations, but not be having leads, but not have leads. So I really want to talk about today, what does it look like to generate leads in your business, and how can you do it in a number of different ways. And the ways you do it, I want to talk a little bit about a strategy that is free, that is DIY. And then I want to talk about a strategy that is paid for and that you could, invest in, opt into. And there are a million different ways of both of these things. Okay. So don't think that my one way or 2 ways are the only ways, because these are not. But from my experience, this is what I have done. This is what has worked, and this is what has not worked. And then some in between, right? Of growth of my business and clients' businesses. So 5 years ago, I still owned the yoga studio. And for me, generating leads looked like me talking to people in the area. It looked like me posting on social media, and a lot of times it looked like me boosting a post from our business page and just hoping it would reach someone new. Now, if that resonates with you, right, which I know a lot of people they're like, yeah, that's what I do, and I've got nothing, right? The thing that generated the most leads for me was talking to people, having a conversation. And even if that was me standing in the grocery store talking to the person in front of or behind me while I waited to check out my groceries, that was an opportunity for me to tell someone about what I do and invite them into the studio, right? So when I owned my yoga studio, I carried around business cards that were for a free yoga class. And I literally made it rain business cards. Why? Because I was offering a $20 value for free, right? Come in and give yoga a try. These are the class times that I teach. And I would handwrite the times that I was teaching on those cards, and I would give them out to people that I would meet who would ask me about what it is I do. So whether that was at the dentist office or whether that was in the grocery store, at the bar, like it literally did not matter. I would give one of those out, right? And that was I would call it the bonus of having a brick and mortar, right? My lead generating pool was, I don't want to say limited, but it was limited to whoever would want to drive into the studio. Now, because I owned a photography business as well as the yoga studio, the two of those were housed in the same place. So what did that mean? I decorated the studio with my photography, which is cool and great. So a lot of times, if people were coming to the studio for yoga, they would see the photos and then they would ask, and I would be able to give them information about photography. Vice versa. If people were coming into the studio to have their photos taken, they would often say, oh, I didn't know there was a yoga studio here. And then I would give them one of those business cards and invite them back for a yoga class on the house. Okay. So that worked really, really well for my in-person businesses. Now, how does this translate to running an online business, right? Running a coaching business, a speaking business, whatever kind of, right, thought leader business you have. How can you give out that business card, quote unquote, with that free value on it and have a conversation with people, right? And I would say a lot of people in the coaching industry are tired of a lot of the marketing, right? Because so many people are stuck in marketing. They're stuck in, how do I get likes? How do I get comments? Instead of having a conversation. And having a conversation, and I mean like getting into the DMs and asking, hi, hey, how are you? We connected and I'm really excited to know more about you, right? And understanding who you're connecting with, right? Who are these people on your friends list? And are you turning your friends list into a pool of potential either clients or a pool of potential collaboration partners? And this is really just one way to generate leads. And I'm simply talking about Facebook right now. And if you are overwhelmed because you're not creating leads and you're not getting on calls, you're not creating offer posts or just offers, speaking your offer out loud, I would encourage you to pick a platform. And whether that's email or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I don't care where it is, in person, networking, online, I don't care. It does not matter which. Just choose one place, and for the next 3 months, right? Give it 3 months because it's going to take a little bit of time to get in the habit of doing these things. So go in and document who you're talking to. create a list, whether that is an Excel spreadsheet, a Notion board, pen and paper, right? Those are all free. Or whether you're paying for a tool to help you categorize people that you're talking to, that is also another way to step up your lead generating game. Because you can have an amazing sales page and not be selling anything. You can have amazing posts on your Instagram or Facebook and still not sell anything. Why? Because it comes down to creating a conversation, right? Even some of the people, actually all of the people who I have followed online, who are multi 6 and 7 figure earners, they sell in the DMs. They are selling in the DMs. And I've studied that, right? Like I've opted into things intentionally to see that process and how that works. Now, there are tons of AI and chat things that you could add on, but for the sake of just being a real person in your DMs, right? For the sake of being a real person, how can you do that just by yourself, right? And the best way to do that is to make it a goal to have a certain amount of conversations every single day. Whether that's 3, whether that's 5, 1, 10, 20, whatever your energy level is, focus on that, right? Understand, okay, I feel really good having 3 conversations 4 days a week, new conversations, right? And then I get jazzed up having and continuing to grow 3 more conversations that I have already started every day of the week, right? Maybe your goal is to get 3 to 4 sales calls or get on Zoom 3 to 4 times a week with people, right? So if you're working 4 days a week, that's 1 call every single day to have a conversation with someone to say, yeah, this is what I do. Here's who I'm looking for. So if you or anyone you know is interested in this thing that I am selling, I would love a referral. I would love to talk more to people. I would love to talk to your friends and family and anyone else that you think would benefit from this thing that I have. And I think people get scared to have those conversations. I know something that, when I was first starting out in my businesses, and specifically in my photography business, what would happen was I would get an email. Someone was looking for a photographer. I would say, yes, let's meet. Here are some dates. And we would meet, and I would be so scared. I would be so terrified that these people wouldn't book with me. And I would just do everything in my power at that sales call to just get them to book instead of just like letting it be natural. Now, I have to say I have been blessed that all of my photography clients have been amazing. And there have been very, very few instances, like I can count on one hand over the last 16 years. I can count on one hand the amount of people who I would probably not welcome back as a client. So I've been very, very lucky. And I think about that, at least recently, I've thought about that a lot because generating those leads and creating those leads, having those conversations, I think, how did I do that? And how can I apply that online so that I personally am continuing to grow, right? I'm continuing to hone in my skills so that as clients sign on with me, they can grow their skills, right? Because from my skills, I can then give people and help people learn many different ways of connecting, right? In fact, one of my mentors has 54 ways to connect with clients. And when he started talking about that, I was like mind blown because I knew about quite a lot of them, right? But there were some of them that I had no clue about. And I thought, oh, how cool are some of these? Like, what a great thing to do. Now, I will say, just because there's 54 or 75, whatever, it doesn't matter. Because there's an infinite number of ways to connect with people. That does not mean you need to try and do them all. Okay, I am definitely a person, and I admit this, that when I see 54 ways, I think I'm going to go and try all 54 of them all at once right now. And then I get mad because all 54 are not working. And in fact, I'm just spinning my wheels. So here's a little PSA for you as you are trying some of these on, right? And as you are connecting with people. So number one, track your leads. Okay, I don't care if that's a Notion board. I don't care if that's an Excel spreadsheet. I don't care if that is opting into a piece of software that helps you track those leads, right? If it's something you pay for. Now, I will say, if you are trying to do this on the quick and dirty, or if you're trying to bootstrap what you're doing, try on a Notion board, try on an Excel spreadsheet, right? My first attempt at tracking my leads was an Excel spreadsheet. And it was great, right? Like, I didn't necessarily enjoy doing it, but it was simple. It was easy. It was basic. You know what? I'm going to drop it below here. So if you're listening to this, go down to the show notes. I'm going to share my tracker with you. The first tracker that I used just to really connect with people, right? It was easy. It was quick, and it's not fancy. I'm just telling you that. It's not fancy. And for me, it got really boring. So if you're someone that likes kind of all those bells and whistles, it might not be for you, but it's something to get you started. Because I guarantee you that most of you listening to this are probably not tracking your leads. And in order to generate more leads, you need to track your leads. Because that will allow you to see where your conversations are coming from, where they are going, how you've connected, and all of that stuff. Because honestly, understanding that small piece of information allowed me to see just how much abundance I had on my Facebook friends list. It's allowed me to see how much abundance I have in my Instagram friends list, right? Understanding those leads, so powerful. So powerful. Because it gives you a snippet in time of like, okay, I connected with this person on this day about this thing. And then it allows you to grow your relationship, right? It allows you to really optimize. It allows so much more than optimization. It allows you to nurture, really, right? And I think a lot of times, at least I get a lot of DMs from people who will say, oh, sorry, this message got lost in my DMs. So if you're wanting to generate leads in your business, and if you think about it, having a conversation is the best way to generate a lead. It's the best way to know if this is someone you can help, if this is someone you can collaborate with, and or if this is someone you can refer to or get referrals from, right? Because most people that you're connecting with are going to be one of the three of those. And I would even argue that friends and family, although I tend to not do a ton of work with friends and family, but they are some of my best referral partners. Why? Because they know in detail what I do and who I work with. So when you're tracking your leads, and I would encourage you to do this over like 2 to 3 weeks, even a month, just to see how many conversations are you having in a day? How many feel good to have in a day? And how many do you want to have in a day, right? For me, I had a mentor tell me to have 20 conversations today, and I went, no. 20 conversations? No. I don't have that kind of energy. I know I don't. That's an immediate no from me. And if you're into human design, I am a manifesting generator. I'm a sacral authority. So a lot of times I do have that initial like, nope. Or, ooh, yes. Right? If things are a yes for me, I'm leaning in. I'm leaning in and I'm going, ooh, this is exciting. I like this. I also, built into my human design, I am naturally inclined to say yes to everything. Now, most people would call that a people pleaser, but for me, it's just like part of who I am. And is it people pleasing? Yes, probably. But also, I really love to learn. I really love to be around people that are like-minded thinkers. So it's hard for me to say no, but I have learned to check my energy levels around the things that I'm doing, right? So if you are someone who's like, I don't know, this kind of sounds like Greek that you're speaking to me, I'm also going to drop my link for a human design by business reading, right? So human design and business kind of combined reading. And in this reading, it's short, it's easy, it's to the point. I usually deliver it through DMs. So if you are interested to see how you can run your run your business with your human design in mind to access the energy that you have, this is something that I would absolutely love you to opt into, because this will help you understand what it is that is lighting you up, where it's lighting you up, kind of how much energy you have, and like just how you can grow in the best way for you, because everyone is a little bit different, right? Everyone's energy levels vary, okay? And understanding what those energy levels are is so, so important. So something I also want you to think about as you are generating leads is what feels good, what doesn't. Is a DM to say, hey, let's hop on a Zoom call, does that feel better than having a whole conversation in the DMs, right? Where is it that you feel best? Where is it that you don't feel best? Because understanding that too is going to give you the insights to how it feels the best to connect with people. And if you find yourself saying, oh, I really don't like this, but Maggie said I should do this, don't do it. That is something that I tell my clients all the time. Is like, if the things that I'm telling you don't check or they don't land, or you're like, oh my gosh, I feel overwhelmed thinking about this thing, right? Number one, like, understand those thoughts. If you're having those thoughts and you're a client of mine, please tell me, right? Please tell me. I personally have a lot of energy. I have a lot of openness. I have a lot of I can do a lot of things all at once, and it's okay, and I don't get exhausted. But I have clients who do not have access to that kind of energy, and that's okay. So that's another thing that human design really allows me to see in your business, right? In your design. I get to see some of those areas where I can say, hey, you might want to just focus on 1 or 2 things instead of 4 or 5 things, right? So taking into consideration how you're feeling, what you're feeling, and how you're feeling it, right? Like, where is this landing for you? So understanding how to generate leads in your business. Number one, it can start with your copy, but it can also start in simply reaching out to say, hey, I like how your profile looks. I would love to get to know you, right? It can be that easy, and it can be that simple, right? But also, just because that is easy and simple doesn't mean you shouldn't be tracking your leads. So if you are taking on the intention of you want to create leads and talk to people instead of talking at people, right? You've got to know where you connected with them. You've got to know how you connected. I can't tell you how many times I've connected with people and they're like, yeah, I don't remember how we connected. And, honestly, it's not like a huge thing for me one way or the other. But when I can say, oh, we connected in this group, I remember XYZ post. That is a great opportunity for me, right? To be able to say, I loved this post of yours and it made me want to connect with you and get to know you more. And that is where having 2 brick and mortar businesses, I was really able to get to know people on such a deeper level. right? And I wish I would have done better justice of taking care of leads and like learning more about leads in my brick and mortar businesses. But now is the time. Now is the best time to start something that you wish you would have started yesterday. So as you are generating these leads, get a Notion board, get an Excel spreadsheet, opt into, a piece of software. Although I will say, try the free stuff first, right? Do the free things before you start paying for things, because you don't need unnecessary overhead in your business, right? And that is also something that I teach and preach to my clients, is that if you can do this for free or easily without having to spend exorbitant amounts of money, don't spend exorbitant amounts of money, right? Like, save that money to invest in other spaces and save it to invest later in the future, right? That is something that growing 3 businesses, I learned that very quickly, that when I could invest, I did, but also if it didn't make sense to invest, I did not. And honoring that. And I think that is also so important. So that is a whole other topic for another day. So to wrap this episode all up, are you generating leads in your business? Yes or no? If the answer is no, I want you to start tracking your conversations, right? And if you're not having conversations, it's time to start having conversations, because your content alone is not going to create leads. You have to have a conversation. If you look at people like Jenna Kutcher, Amy Porterfield, Jasmine Starr, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins, all of those big names, all of those people are utilizing the DMs. And a lot of times they're utilizing them for free things or low opt-in things. Some of them are also utilizing them for bigger, higher ticket things. So at the start of it, right? Like, how does that relationship start? It does not start with them sending you a message saying, buy this thing, right? It usually starts with a message from you to them saying, I'm interested in XYZ. Now, if you don't have that huge following, right? If you don't have those huge names, it's going to take on a little bit different of a feel. You have to create the know, like, and trust. And having a DM conversation is honestly such a great place to create more know, like, and trust for yourself, right? You get to start having a conversation about things and let your, energy grow and let your excitement grow. And maybe you invite them to hop on a call. Maybe you invite them to your freebie, right? You can let your content create the door to open to get into the DMs. And if you need more help with this, please, please, please schedule a discovery call with me. I'm going to drop the link below for an offer audit. And that is the best way to understand, for me, where you're at right now, but also for me to help you and give you a few tips on, like, okay, here are some potential holes in what you're doing, and here's how to bridge those gaps, right? So if you're interested in that, the link is below for an offer audit. I'm also going to drop the link for a simple lead tracker, right? And I want you to think about your energy when it comes to generating leads. How many conversations do you want to have per week? New conversations, right? How many conversations do you want to grow and nourish per week? And how many times a week do you want to be hopping on a get to know you or sales call or discovery call or clarity call or whatever you want to call it? And how does that translate in that call, right? How do you know when you hop on that call if it's going to take the turn of, oh, you're interested in XYZ? I have a program, or I have a course, or I have a coaching, whatever, in XYZ that you're interested in. Do you want to learn more? right? Or is it someone who you know could be a really great referral partner? And to make that very clear at the beginning of the call or towards the middle of the call, just, hey, I think we have a lot of commonalities here where my contacts could potentially utilize your services and vice versa, right? Where it could turn into a referral to say, oh, it makes a lot of sense for my clients to go to you after they complete this thing. Or is it a collaboration partner, right? Is it someone who you get on and you're like, I love your energy. Let's do a live together, or let's create a coaching program together, or let's create a summit together, right? Whatever that thing is. So there's a link below for the offer audit. Get on my calendar. Let's have a call. It's free, right? Offer audit is free for you. Number 2, there's also going to be a tracker down there, and start tracking your leads. If you're not, let me know. Literally get in my DMs on Instagram and let me know how your lead tracking is going. Why? Because lead generation and lead tracking is the best way to understand, are you converting? I can't tell you how many times I've gotten on a phone call with someone and I've asked them that question, like, how are you converting leads? And they have no clue. So that's my advice for today. I hope you have an amazing day. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. And as always, I love to connect with you on Instagram. So make sure you connect with me in the DMs on Instagram. And also, if you think this episode would resonate for someone that you know, please go ahead and share that with them. Any rating, sharing, comments, I love them so much. So if you could rate, subscribe, like, love, all the things, I would be forever grateful. I cannot wait to talk to you again.